Hello and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. You're with me, Pig Brain, here today at the World Final of India Insight 2021. An idea conceptualized, well, many years ago in 2004 by Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founder principal of Vidyaniketan Public School. It was her idea to create a quiz that would make young India learn more about the nation, feel proud about our country, and to speak confidently on facts about the nation we belong to. We're truly delighted and humbled to share with all of you that given that the quiz for the first time has gone digital, we've had over 15,000 contestants taking part. I'm sure Prema ma'am would be delighted to know that. While of course the school currently is completely supportive of this beautiful idea and continues to take her legacy forward. After 15,000 grueling contestants, we are here today with the top 4 in the world for the junior category. And it's been one amazing journey for all these contestants. From online rounds and so on, we are here today for the big final. And taking us through this entire journey has been my young co-host, who's now become a face to reckon with among all these children, college students, over the last decade that she's been a professional quiz host. And of course, it is her love and passion for children that really makes her do this many with a smile every time she manages to take on so many quiz shows. In the year 2020, as a youngster, she was recognized among the under 40 people across this nation as content creators. And I don't think she needs any further introduction, especially to a quiz audience. It is indeed my pleasure and privilege to welcome on stage to take you through the first couple of rounds and to introduce our 4 fascinating finalists here today, before I, of course, come back and join you a little later in the quiz for the big final as we play it out as co-hosts. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at India Insight 2021, please put your hands together wherever you are to welcome on stage Miss Rashmi Furtado. Over to you, Rashmi. You could join me on stage. All right. All yours. I'll see you after the first couple of rounds. Goodbye.
Hello everyone and welcome to this world final of the India Insight quiz for the junior category. I know Pig Brain already told you about the quiz, but let me tell you how many hurdles these 4 kids have crossed to reach this world final. We had over 15,000 children who took part from across 9 countries. And after multiple rounds of quizzing, we had 32 of them join us in the quarterfinal. From the 32, we got 16 to the semi-finals. And after so many rounds of quizzing, today I have the 4 world finalists with me here today. Let me introduce them to you and then get cracking with this world final. First up, I have Sanjana Bhatt from PSBB Chennai. Alright, Sanjana, smile. I know there is pressure, it's world final, but don't take too much of stress on yourselves. All of you actually, don't stress yourself way too much. Enjoy the quiz. I'm pretty sure you all will do very well. You'll be proud of yourselves at the end of this quiz. Coming up next, we have John Joseph from Bhavans Vidya Mandir, Kochi. Following John is Shrikar from Lakshmipat Singhania Academy, Kolkata. And completing this lineup is Anu Megha from Thakur Public School, Mumbai. So kids, all the best to all of you. You have already done very well. That is why you're here at the world final. But we may have many more googlies for you this time in this world final. you have to have kuklis. It has to be tougher. It's a world finale, and I just said 9 countries and 15,000 plus kids. So the standards are going to be little different from what you have faced so far in the quarterfinals and semi-finals. Let me explain the rules to you and then start the first round of the quiz. The rules of the game: scoring pattern is a plus 50 and a minus 50. You will have questions appearing on your screen, and I will have corresponding questions that will go with what appears on your screen. It's up to you if you want to wait for me to read out the question, or you think you're confident about the answer, you can just read what's there on the screen and give me the answer. That is up to you. Like I always say in all my quizzes, the risk and the decision both are yours. Okay? I have seen quizzers win the quiz by taking such risks, and I've seen quizzes taking too many negatives as well. You have to decide what would be good for you at that point in time. Let's get started with the first round of this world final. India at a glance. Here we go. Well, I can already start to feel the nervousness, but I shall not project it on these kids. They have done really well to read so far. Let's start with the first round of this quiz. The first question on your screens now. The logo of which organization? Anumegha is on the buzzer. Go ahead, Anumegha.
The Asia Games.
Can you give me a better answer? You're on the right track, but the answer is not quite what I wanted. All right, time lapsing, taking a minus 50 on that. Anumegha, only if you had allowed me to complete the question. The Indian Olympic Organization, the answer I was looking for. Why I said you are on the right track is because this organization selects on who will represent our country in the Olympics, in Asian Games, and a few other international sporting events. All right, taking a minus 50 on that, but many more rounds to go. Let's not jump into any conclusions. Question number 2 on the screen now. Identify the Indian biotechnology company. Shikhar, go ahead, Shikhar.
Bharat Biotech.
Bharat Biotech. Do you know where they are from? Which part of our country?
I think they are from Pune. I think, maybe I'm not sure. But right now they have developed the vaccine for COVID-19.
All right. Not all the information was correct, but Bharat Biotech will give you a plus 50 on that. They work out of Hyderabad. They are based out of Hyderabad. Getting him a plus 50 is Bharat Biotech. Let's move on to question number 3 on your screens now. Mritika Bihari Temple, located at a place named Brahmand Ghat in Uttar Pradesh, is dedicated to Lord Krishna. What is the main prasad at this temple? John, go ahead.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Well, I shouldn't comment on this, but I think you'll have lots of people rushing to the temple if that was the case. Minus 50, John. The answer I was looking for is balls of mud. It's actually a story that goes back to childhood, or a child Krishna, baby Krishna if you want to call him so. Apparently he ate a few pieces of mud or balls of mud, and he suddenly had secrets of the entire universe that he's told to all of his friends around and his mother. That's the story behind this temple, hence balls of mud, the prasad in this temple. Moving on, question number 4 on the screens now. The suffix as a part of the name means an open valley. In the Shivaliks, or between the Shivaliks and higher Himalayan foothills is where it's located. Partly, Kotri and Pinjore are some of the names in a list to which the suffix has been attached. All right, Srikhar is on the buzzer. Go ahead.
Doon.
Doon. Can you give me the entire name?
No, ma'am.
All right. I will give it to you. Doon is the right answer. Plus 50 on that. I was actually pushing to get Dehradun from you, but from what I explained, Doon is the right answer. Getting a plus 50 on that is Shrikar. Moving on to the second round of this game, but before we do that, let me quickly tell you where our contestants stand. Leading this quiz as of now is Shrikar. He's on 100 points already. We're still in the first round of this quiz and he's on 100. Minus 50 apiece is what Anumega and John have got. They took their chances. It's a world final. I do not necessarily doubt their strategies, because at a world final you have to take your chances if you want to move forward. Sanjana is still watching the game. I think she just wants to sit back and see how the game goes and then take a call on what her strategy is going to be. Let's see what happens. Moving on to the second round of this quiz. Incredible India, here we go. All right, finalists, I have visuals coming up for you, corresponding questions that I will have that will go along with the visuals. Again, it's your call if you want to wait for me to complete the question or not, okay? Rest of the rules and scoring patterns remain absolutely the same. Question number 1 on your screens now. Who led the Maratha army at the third battle of Panipat? Or just identify him. John, go ahead, John.
Shivaji.
Shivaji getting a minus 50 on that. Sadashiv Rao Peshwa, or Bhau as he was most commonly or fondly and affectionately known, would have given you a plus 50. Guys, the questions wouldn't be that straightforward. We are at a world final, so just give it a little bit of a thought before you decide to give me an answer on any of these questions. Moving on, question number 2 on your screens now. Name the Indian physicist who developed Saha ionization equation. Sanjana, go ahead Sanjana, she's on the buzzer.
Meghnad Saha.
Meghnad Saha, an Indian astrophysicist, plus 50. Sanjana scoring a plus 50 on that. Moving on, question number 3 of this round on your screens now. Name the British lawyer who drew demarcation line between the Indian. Shrikar on the buzzer, go ahead.
Cyril Radcliffe.
Cyril Radcliffe, plus 50. Beautiful answer, plus 50 on that. Wonderful. In fact, if I'm not wrong, the demarcation line is called as the Radcliffe line as well, named after Cyril Radcliffe. The last question of this round, here we go. Name the first Indian whom? John, go ahead.
Kasaba Yadav.
Could you repeat that, John, a little louder?
Kasaba Yadav.
Kasaba Yadav, giving him a plus 50. Beautiful answer. He's actually the first one from independent India to win a medal at the Olympics. And if my memory is right, I think it was in wrestling. I think it was a bronze or something in wrestling that he got back then. Okay, as of now, we have Shrikar leading the quiz at 150 points. Trying to chase him is Sanjana with a 50 points. Anumeka and John are again on minus 50. But John is actually trying to claw back because he negated one of the minus 50s that he had with a very good answer just now. Wow, I am already feeling the jitters, but we will hand over the quiz to Pick Brain, and I like to say, it's his problem now to identify the world champion and not mine. So Pick Brain, if you could just join us on stage and take this quiz forward.
Thanks, Rashmi. Certainly seems to be one final that's going to be going down the wire. Shrikar for the moment on 150, Sanjana on 50. These are all youngsters who've played these games before, so they know only too well how to come back from places like this. John was extremely strong and powerful in his semi-final, so he knows how to play the buzzers. Anumega was all on fire that day, so it's not going to be difficult for her to make a comeback either. 3 rounds still to go. Tentative start by them as we move on to the next frontier. India in a word. Here it comes. You know how this game is played. You're going to get a couple of boxes on your screen which basically indicates the number of letters in the answer. So keep an eye on that. When I say India in a word, it could be 2 words as well. So you got to think that through a little bit. And we're going to start with the first one. The scores remain the same, 50 if you get it right, 50 if you get it wrong on a negative. Here's the first one. Hands on the buzzer. Question coming up on your screen now. I am the national reptile of India. John Joseph is off in a flash.
King Cobra.
Again?
King Cobra.
Is perfectly correct. Oh, he gets that perfectly right and he's negated all his negatives and continues to be sharp and fast with his speed. Here's the next one coming. Hands on the buzzer. 1 word, longish question, more than what appears on the screen. Here we go. I'm a word derived from the French word meaning a corner or a district. It referred to at times a temporary military encampment. Sometimes this encampment was in the winters. Sanjana is giving it a go. Also part of railway station names.
Cantonment.
Very well played. Oh, beautifully played. She's got cantonment right. You've got so many railway stations in India which is cantonment. You will have a Jalandhar Cant, you have a Bangalore Cant, you have, I think, I'm not too sure, I think there's a Bhubaneswar Cant, I'm not very sure on that. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer, cantonment getting her to 100, and the third one in this round now. Bhimasena, Hanumanti, Jambavanti, Jarasandhi are the 4 techniques that are associated with a particular sport. Your answer is the English word of this sport. Sanjana from Chennai. Go ahead.
Wrestling.
Again, Sanjana.
Wrestling.
Is perfectly correct. Wrestling. Well, we did not want to confuse you with kushti because counting the words normally for children of your age will happen in English because the letters are in English. But kushti or wrestling. And all of these are, of course, characters from Ramayana or Mahabharata who were all very good or capable of winning wrestling battles. One final one in this round. The battle's getting tighter. Sanjana is on 150. Shrikar is on 150. And John Joseph has been playing well as well, though the score doesn't reflect that. Here's the next one. On screen now. This city in the northeast has served as the capital of 2 states in the early 1970s, while one thinks in the modern world it's only Chandigarh, which is in the north. Go ahead, northeast. 2 states had the same beautiful place as capital. John Joseph.
Sir, I accidentally hit the ball, sir.
Oh, hard luck to you. You can't do that. You will get a negative because you buzzed after the question came. So I will have to be fair on the rules. You will take a minus 50. I'm sorry about that, but you can still try. No? He doesn't want to try. You want to try? Well, too long.
Sir.
Too long. Minus to you. I can't give it to you on that. I think we've got Shrikar with his hand up. I don't know if that's a question or I think Sanjana's also got a hand up. So if it's the answer or is it a doubt?
No, sir, I'm just guessing the answer.
What is it?
Sir, is it Guwahati or Dispur?
Guwahati. Sanjana, what do you think?
It's Guwahati.
You think it's Guwahati? Anumega.
Shillong.
The right answer would have been Shillong. Anumega not pressing the buzzer. 2 states, Assam and Meghalaya, shared Shillong as their capital in history, and it was much later that Assam got Guwahati as its capital. For the moment, well, both Shrikar and Sanjana will tell themselves, thank God we didn't play early, because they would have got a negative on that. And the quiz is getting tighter. John Joseph is playing the way he plays. I'm sure he'll keep buzzing. If he has to believe, he has to come back. As we go to the penultimate frontier of the world final of India Insight, a quiz conceptualized by Vidyaniketan Public School many years ago. And this time, for the first time, a digital final. Though, in the junior final, we've got all of them from India. In the senior final, we've had people from outside of India, especially the Middle East, doing extremely well and making it to the final as well. But for now, the penultimate frontier, I was almost going to say the final frontier, it's time for me to share with you a couple of stories from across this great historic nation. Stories of India, here it comes. So, on Stories of India, you're going to get multiple clues on your screen, and these clues will pretty much tell you how to work your answer out. Now, the most important thing about it is the clues appear together, so you got to read it quickly and listen to me as I may have added information. 50, the value of the answer, if you get it right or wrong. On your screen, first one, here we go. I am the son of Rishabhananta, the Sanjana, too quick.
Bahubali.
I became popular as a movie a few years ago. Sanjana gets into the lead with Bahubali on her side. Well, that's a good one to get. She's on to 200. It's a very tight battle as we go to the second one. On your screens now. It's a very important concept which was created, which actually was described by a word, John Joseph.
Is it the Apsara nuclear reactor?
The Apsara nuclear reactor. You've also got a couple of pencils there. So those are for you what?
The Apsara pencil.
The Apsara pencils and an Apsara in a play on your screen. It came from the logic of between the water of the clouds. Beautifully answered on that one. He'll get himself a 50 on the world of Apsaras. But he needs to put a few together, but beautifully answered on Apsara. Here's the next one on your screens now. It is a famous gentleman, Nikhil Bhandari, who has been actively promoting India through his sculpture. And it also is today present at the Delhi airport. This particular one is a representation of something that has a lunar version and a solar version. John Joseph going for it.
So it's yoga and it's a Surya Namaskar and Chandra Namaskar, I think so.
Oh, it's yoga and there are two forms. There's a Chandra Namaskar and a Surya Namaskar. Absolutely right. John Joseph will get a 50, and for once, he's now in the positive. He's going to tell himself, yes, from here I'm going to be moving forward. But a very good answer, John. Superbly played. Final one in the stories from across India. On your screens now. It is in the center of the Suru River in Ladakh. The name is said to be derived from two words meaning castle and center. The town that I have become extremely popular, integral to modern Indian history. I stand as a symbol of resilience and victory that India was proud of. Go ahead, Shrikar.
Kargil.
Superb answer. That's a superb answer. Kargil it is. That gives him a 50. And where do we stand? We'll take a look at where this scorecard is heading. On the scorecard with one round remaining here today at the world final, remember, of India Insight 2021, brought to you by the Vidyaniketan Public School. We've got Shrikar from Kolkata on 200. We've got Sanjana from Chennai on 200. John Joseph not giving up at all on 50. Anu Mega has a lot of work to do. She's been unusually quiet for someone who's really sharp and fast on the buzzer. maybe not just her day here today, but final round can do anything as we move on to what we call India Inspired. Here it comes. On India Inspired, I'm going to basically have questions appearing on your screen with some added information from my end, starting with the first one on your screens now. This is a stamp which commemorates a great former Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri, in whose name a National Academy is situated at Mussoorie. It's an academy which trains people for a very, very important category. Who in India are trained at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy at Mussoorie? Sanjana Bhatt is giving it a shot.
So the blanked out word is administration, so it's people who belonging to IAS.
Oh, people who belong to the IAS, civil servants of this country, etc., get trained here. Well, who knows, one day she might become an eminent civil servant of our country, but for now, a young, tender-aged Sanjana Bhatt knows a thing or two about Indian administration. Lovely answer, gets her into the lead. Shrikar will want to catch up quickly. It's a head-on battle between two very good quizzers. As we move to the next one, hands on the buzzer, question on your screen. Here it comes. It's an apex body in India that is largely responsible for the promotion of biomedical research. It was formed long ago in 1911, then known as the Research Fund Association in India. Today, it's extremely important in the context of what India has witnessed in 2020 and early 2021. Which very important institute all over the news in 2020 are we talking about here? Oh, John Joseph is giving it a shot. Yes, John.
Is it the Serum Institute of India?
Oh, that would be Pune and not New Delhi. I left the New Delhi there for you for that purpose. A minus 50 to him again, but he's enjoying his game. He doesn't mind 50 minus 50. The answer is ICMR, the body that's been all over the news, especially with approval of drugs, validating of drugs, etc., especially with the COVID pandemic. 2 questions to go, too close for comfort. Shrikar on 200, Sanjana on 250. Either one is now going to be the world champion. Who is it going to be? Shrikar has to get both right or get one right and play out a tiebreaker. Sanjana will watch it very carefully. She's just got an inch of an advantage. She knows that only too well. Penultimate question on your screens now. Samrat, Jaiprakash, Disha, Rama, Chakra, Rashivalya, Dingsha and Uttanj are all the names of instruments. Extremely important to India and its science in the early days. How do we know these instruments together? Tough questions at India Insight. Anumega. Yes.
Is it tabla?
Oh, that's a minus 50 to you. I gave you too many to take a look at and not just one. The overall answer in all of this would give you Jantar Mantar. Well. We all know Jantar Mantar, but probably you need a quizzing mind to look beyond that on what it actually constitutes. Our final question will determine whether Sanjana is going to hold out or it's going to be Shrikar. Sanjana, for sure, even if she takes a negative or Shrikar scores will go into a tiebreaker. So she can't lose the title on the last question. Shrikar will have to get it right to push a tiebreaker. Else, Sanjana is going to win if someone else gets it. So those are the permutations and combinations. But ladies and gentlemen, what a finale. One question separating two extremely good young quizzers. We've seen them multiple times in Indian quizzing now, and I think they have a phenomenal future ahead of them as quizzers and learners. That is important. But for the moment, it is the final question. India Insight 2021. The final question on your screen now. I am a famous fictional supervillain from Marvel Comics. Sanjana is risking the lead.
Juggernaut.
Come again?
Juggernaut. Juggernaut.
And the connection of Juggernaut?
It's named after the Jagannath temple in Puri. It's an anglicized version of that.
The anglicized version of the Jagannath temple of Puri is called Juggernaut, and it's a fictional character technically by Marvel, but in reality it comes from the Jagannath temple in Puri, Odisha. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Shrikar has had his chances. He knows he's played well with 200. But this young girl from Chennai is a sensation in Indian quizzing these days. Sanjana Bhatt from PSBB Chennai, the world champion at India Insight 2021. Brought to you by the Vidyaniketan Public School. It's this young girl from Chennai who almost crashed out in the quarterfinals, is what Rashmi was telling me. She was on 1 and then I think she took a negative. Something like that happened in her quarterfinal, which Rashmi was anchoring. And I think she got through on a tiebreaker. And from there on, it's been no stopping for this young sensation from Chennai. She certainly has been a juggernaut in her own. Well, in the world of quizzing, she's certainly come on as a juggernaut. Congratulations to you, young lady. Lovely performance by you yet again. Shrikar, superb quizzing. He really played it well. He gave some outstanding answers, but I think he'll kick himself saying he should have got Jantar Mantar right. He's someone who would get something like that, but he's a good quizzer. It doesn't bother him whether you win or lose. He loves his quizzing. And that's true of John Joseph as well. He's been fantastic. Anu Mega really having an off day after having such a glorious run. But what is important, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is to remember and appreciate that over 15,000 people, these kids are in the top 4 of the world. That, in my opinion, makes all of them champions. Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the late founder principal of the Vidyaniketan Public School, will be truly proud, truly happy, and truly comforted by this phenomenal surge in willingness to learn about our own country. But what really touched Rashmi and me as we presented this quiz to you is actually the really good amount of knowledge our kids have, contrary to what people think. I think people tend to think these days kids don't know much about India. That's not true. I think we just jump to conclusions. Programs like this are only a proof and a reflection of how much India's youngsters know about India and how they feel about this motherland of theirs. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, from me, Pig Brain, from my young colleague, Rashmi Furtado, it's been an absolute pleasure and delight bringing you this quiz. The junior champion, Sanjana Bhatt, the senior champion in the next final. We'll let you know who that's going to be, but for the moment, truly appreciate you tuning in and congratulations to the young girl. See you in the senior final, all of you. Goodbye for now.